Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. A few months ago, I found a giant canvas in my basement, and ever since then I've sort of been staring at it and really just wanting to paint on it, trying to figure out what I wanted to paint, build up the courage to do so. So today we're gonna do just that and tackle this canvas. First, I'm gonna just clean off my old palette though, because I didn't do that with my last painting. Now the next part of the process is called toning your canvas. This is completely optional. I just do this because it's a personal preference. But basically, you just cover your canvas with a diluted layer of whatever color you want. I use burnt sienna, and it helps me to judge color better. Good morning. It is the next day, and last night I blocked in a little bit of stuff very minimally. As you can see, I just defined the bottom of where the wave will be, and I think I will leave the blocking in at that and start going in with color today. So yeah, that should be fun. Let's just see where the day takes us. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the process that went into this and what I'm painting in a second. But before I jump into that, I just want to say that I'm not a tutorial channel. That's just not my cup of tea. I will never be a tutorial channel. However, I do like to show you my process and do it in a relaxing, informal way that feels like you can sort of hang out with me. So what I'm painting here is water, and I really love water because it just makes me feel so at peace. And I feel like when we want a break or we just want a vacation, it's very common to go to an ocean or a lake or a river and just sort of relax and unplug. So if I can bring that to people on a canvas, that just fills my heart with so much joy, you know? Another thing I really love about water is no wave is ever the same. And each wave and each ripple reflects color differently depending on the time of day, and depending on the wind, the waves are a different size. And that's what makes water so fascinating. It seems so simple, but there's so much actually to it. Now that we had our little coffee break, let's continue. Now I actually started this painting a little differently than normal. You saw me working on the foreground first, which is so unusual because I usually tackle the background. But for some reason, when I saw the shadow under that seafoam earlier, I just felt like I needed to block that in first. So I just kind of followed my gut and went with it. And sometimes that just feels good. So once I did that and blocked everything in, I moved to the middle ground. And this giant blue chunk here will eventually be seafoam. And this was one of the more challenging parts of the painting, was this seafoam section here and then the section above it. So right now I'm just sort of doing the darker parts of the water ripples, but the sunset portion here is like a lot different in color compared to the foreground. So you can see I'm eyeing the canvas. This is the awkward stage now. Have to contemplate what to do next. And that's always the fun part, you know? It's not quite looking like anything yet. Sometimes you contemplate giving up, but then you think ahead and you think about how rewarding it will be to finish. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna push through. One reason why I really, really loved this painting was because it gave me the time and space to just think about life. Think about, my bucket list travel places, other things I want to paint in the future. I got to binge Atypical on Netflix and listen to good music. It was a good time. And I really enjoy that sometimes, just feeling like I'm in another world while I create. Now, you can see throughout this video, my outfit changes a lot, and each outfit is probably a different day because this painting took so long to make. And actually at the end of the video, I will share with you how long it took. I think it's really cool with oil paint that it takes forever to dry because it's very forgiving and you can blend so beautifully with it. And I love that so much. So some days, I'd paint a couple layers in one area and then wait a day or two for that area to dry a little more. And then I'd come back to it and layer. Now, I did not add any sort of things to my paint to make it dry faster after I did the under layer. So everything you're seeing here is just straight oil paint. There's nothing really added to it. There are some areas where I added walnut oil, but that's pretty much it. Now, something I really loved about this painting here was it taught me a lot about light and color. I was very intentional about trying to color match as best I could. So I took my time to really mix colors in advance. And I guess going into this painting, I just assumed that the seafoam would just be so bright and white. But in reality, this painting is actually darker and moodier because it's a sunset. And I think that's just so cool that our eyes can sort of register something as super bright, but in reality, it's just the lighting is different and it adds a unique element of contrast even though the colors are dark. Anyway, I really enjoyed just pulling color from other places because they repeat a lot and conveying water. This is definitely one of the hardest paintings I've ever done, but it has made me feel so happy to have done it. Well, here's the finished painting. I would say this probably took between 50 to 60 hours. Maybe more than that actually, but it was so liberating to just do a giant painting like this. This is the kind of stuff I used to do all the time, are these huge paintings, and I really enjoyed it. But with YouTube and everything, it's not always feasible to do something this size every week. That's a lot. I do want to say that I hope to do more stuff like this in the future, maybe on a smaller scale. And I think my channel is going to start changing directions a little bit. I want to do what makes me feel very creatively fulfilled. And yeah, I'm just going to start doing that. And I'm excited for it. I hope you enjoyed this and felt like you could relax at the beach or on a lake or something as you were watching this come to life. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you are new, feel free to subscribe to join the art family. We would love to have you. And that's it. Yeah, take care. See you next time. Bye.